Hello dear students, welcome to Bajirao Ias Academy interview guidance program. So in this particular lecture we will be talking about the International Big Cat Alliance. So International Big Cat Alliance was launched by different countries, particularly or essentially to protect 7 species of big cat. Right? So what are those big cats? For example, jaguar is considered as a big cat, puma, leopard, lion, tiger and cheetah, snow leopard. So in this part of in this lecture we will understand what is a big cat alliance and why the government had focused on this big cat alliance. So why the big cat is considered as keystone species, and what is the conservation status, what are the threats these big cats have been facing in different parts of the world. So now why it is in news recently? So it is in news because Union Cabinet had approved the establishment of a International Big Cat Alliance. Okay, so for this particular purpose it had also made budgetary allocations of 150 crore. So this is a period of 5 years from 2023 to 2027-28. So these budgetary allocations will help the conservation programs of the big cat in India. Okay, so this will also enhance India's cooperation with other like-minded countries in the protection and conservation of the big cats. Now if we talk about the International Big Cat Alliance, so this is a multi-country and multi-agency coalition. Now in the sense, when I say multi-country coalition, the different countries, tiger range countries, would be involved in the International Big Cat Alliance, because India alone would not do much for the protection and conservation of big cats. So there is a need for cooperation on this front as well. So therefore, when I say multi-agency, now it involves the government agencies, the private agencies and non-governmental organizations who are involved in the conservation of the species. And the funding agencies, the multilateral funding agencies, would also be involved. For example, World Wildlife Fund. Okay, so IUCN. So all these organizations and agencies would be involved, and because of this reason, the International Big Cat Alliance is considered as multi-country and multi-agency coalition that is set up for the protection and conservation of the big cats, 7 species of a big cat. So this was launched in the year 2023 by India. So the International Big Cat Alliance was launched by Government of India in the year 2023, and this was launched specially to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Project Tiger. So please remember, the Government of India launched Project Tiger in the year 1973. Okay, so by the year 2023 we have celebrated the 50th anniversary of Project Tiger. So in order to commemorate this particular Project Tiger, we have announced the International Big Cat Alliance in the year 2023. Okay, so what is the objective of this International Big Cat Alliance? So this would ensure cooperation for the conservation of 7 big cat species. So what are those 7 big cat species? So the big cat species include jaguar, puma, leopard, lion, tiger, cheetah and snow leopard. So please remember, India is a snow leopard range country. So in this context, it would further enhance and ensure cooperation for the conservation of 7 big cats, and it would also arrest the declining population of these 7 big cat species and would reverse the trend over a period of time. So reversing the trend in fact involves, the trend is declining population of 7 big species. So arresting the population decline and reverse this declining trend. So that essentially involves increase the population of the big cat species in cooperation with all other tiger range countries or big cat range countries. And the second most important objective of this International Big Cat Alliance is that it would create a central repository. So this particular central repository would have knowledge sharing, capacity building, networking, advocacy, finance and support research. Okay, so it would be considered as a holistic approach. Okay, so it would be considered as holistic and comprehensive approach with respect to protection and conservation of tigers or species of tigers. So therefore this central repository would involve knowledge sharing about the best practices with respect to the tiger conservation, tiger protection, and it would also involve capacity building of different agencies, capacity building of forest personnel and forest departments, networking, advocacy, finance, and support research as well. Okay, so if we talk about the partnership between different countries, there are 96 big cat range countries across the world. So therefore it could include interested non-range countries, so countries which are not having the big cat species, but they are interested in the conservation of the big cats. And apart from that, it also involves the conservation partners, scientific organizations which are working in the big cat conservation program. Okay, so therefore this also envisions the partnership between different range countries and interested non-range countries as well. Now, the administration of International Big Cat Alliance. So an assembly of members, a standing committee, as well as a secretariat, all of these institutions are based in India. So okay, for the administration of this International Big Cat Alliance, there would be assembly of members of all the big cat range countries, and there will be a standing committee and also a secretariat. All these institutions are based in India. Okay, so framework of agreement. So there would be a statute. So it has been drafted largely on the lines of International Solar Alliance. So please remember, India along with the partnership of France had launched the International Solar Alliance. More than half of the global countries are part of this International Solar Alliance, so where they wanted to tap the potential of the solar energy. So in a similar sense, the International Big Cat Alliance was also launched on the lines of this International Solar Alliance to achieve the target of conserving and protecting the 7 big cat species in cooperation with different range countries. Okay, so what are these big cats? Okay, when I say big cats, what are these big cats? So this is actually a term that is used in informal speech to apply to any large species of family belong to Felidae. Okay, so big cats are usually belong to the family called Felidae. So usually it applies to the members of a genus called Panthera. But 2 other cats such as puma, its scientific name is Puma cancolor, and cheetah, its scientific name is Acinonyx jubatus, are also usually included in the most of the listings of big cats. So what are the 7 big cats? So they include lion, tiger, leopard, cheetah, snow leopard, jaguar, and puma. So all these are considered as 7 big cat species. So if you look at India, India is home to 5 out of 7 cats. So except jaguar and puma, we have all other species of big cats, right? So while cheetah was declared extinct in the year 1952, so in India cheetah was declared extinct, but recently we have introduced African cheetahs as part of cheetah reintroduction program. Okay, so I hope you remember about this cheetah reintroduction program. So as part of this cheetah reintroduction program, so we have reintroduced the cheetahs into our forests. Okay, so therefore we can say that India is home to 5 out of 7 cat species except jaguar and puma, right? So after that, we will briefly understand the conservation status of big cats and the threats they have been facing and range of those big cats. First, lion. So lion IUCN status is vulnerable, right? So it is considered as vulnerable species, and if you look at the lion's population, it is around 23,000 to 39,000 species. They are existing in wild. So the range countries include sub-Saharan Africa with a critically endangered subpopulations in West Africa, small populations of Asiatic lions in the Gir National Park. Okay, so this is the range of lion, and if you look at the threats that lions have been facing, that include the land use, climate change, and targeted poaching of these lions would be one of the greatest threats that these lions have been facing. So after that, if you talk about the tiger species, tigers IUCN status is endangered. So total population of tigers is 3,700 to 5,000 species that are present in the wild. So tiger range countries include Bangladesh, Bhutan, Cambodia, China, India. So all these are tiger range countries where we can found tigers, okay, in the wild or in captivity as well. So some of the threats that tigers have been facing include habitat loss due to human activity, poaching, climate change, and tiger farms. So all these are major concerns that major threats that tigers have been facing. Now in India also, habitat loss, habitat fragmentation, and poaching activities and deforestation. So all these factors that tigers have been facing. Now with respect to tigers, the problem of man-animal conflict is also one of the major threats that these tigers have been facing. Now sorry. So after that, snow leopard. So India is a country of a snow leopard range. IUCN status is vulnerable, and total population of snow leopard is around 4,000 to 6,500. So these are all the range countries. So along with countries in South Asia, South Asian countries and Central Asian countries are tiger range, snow leopard, tiger range countries. Okay, so some of the threats they have been facing include habitat loss, poaching, and decline in natural prey in these regions, and human wildlife conflict are major threats that snow leopards have been facing in recent times. So after that, we need to talk about jaguar. So jaguar is not naturally found in India, so its IUCN status is near threatened, and 1,73,000 species of jaguar found across the world. So its range countries are 18 countries, with majority of jaguar population is in the Amazon rainforest and the Pantanal in the South America. So it also has been facing threats such as habitat fragmentation, deforestation, illegal hunting, and trade. So majority of these species have been facing the common threats or the same threats. So after that, there's a cheetah also. Earlier, cheetah was declared extinct in India in the year 1952, but now as part of cheetah reintroduction program, we have again introduced the African cheetahs into our forest. So therefore, its IUCN status is vulnerable, and its total population is less than 7,000 species. And savannas of Africa, formerly found in India, Pakistan, Russia, Iran, Middle East, all these countries have this cheetah population. So cheetahs have been facing problems such as loss of habitat, human wildlife conflict, climate change, loss of prey, and illegal trafficking. So these are the major threats that these populations have been facing. So after that, the puma, this is also not found in India. So its IUCN status is near threatened, and around there was a 50,000 species of puma. And puma is generally found in Canada, US, and Central and South America. So loss of habitat, lack of prey, and human wildlife conflict is major threats that puma has been facing. So leopard IUCN status is near threatened. Globally, 250,000 or 250,000 species. India alone have 13,000 species of leopard. So its range countries include Africa, parts of Middle East, and Asia. So some of the threats it has been facing: human wildlife conflict and habitat loss, poaching, and trade in these species. Okay, so these are the different big cat species. These are 7 big cat species, and that is what is about the big cat aliens that is being launched by the government of India for the protection and conservation of big cats. Okay, so that's it.